Welcome, class, to another lesson overview for May 21st. And aren't you excited? Only a few more days of school left. So let's go ahead and get into today's Bible lesson. You'll need to review all Lesson 8 readings and study the words to know. You need to know for a test tomorrow on Friday. So you want to make sure that you plan for that and do the best you can because it's the last of the tests for the content quizzes and tests. And then be reading Isaiah 22 and leave a comment in the Google Classroom, as always. And these are quiz grades, so please make sure you're doing that. Memorize Isaiah 14, 12 through 15, and be ready for a quiz next week. And then Google Meeting, we're looking at for a video call on Friday at 10 o'clock, and I'll be talking about next week's schedule and what you can expect for the assignments and tests and quizzes for next week. So you want to make sure that you join us for this class video call, and it is mandatory attendance for that, and it'll only be about 30 minutes this week as I have a meeting at 10:30. So you want to join us, quick meeting, and you guys can maybe chat afterwards for a little bit, spend some time together. But I just want to talk to you about next week's schedule, okay, as we head into the final week of the year. For a math lesson today, for 5th grade, lesson 159, looking at repeating decimals. And you'll need to complete page 287 to 288, doing exercises 1 through 10. Only the black letters. Make sure you show your work, okay? And I will be checking over all your lessons for the year before I actually give out grades. So you want to make sure that you do the best you can here, okay? Now, repeating decimals. So here we have a calculator with 0.25252525, all right? And it's going to keep repeating. So some facts here. A fraction that divides out evenly is called a terminating decimal. We talked about that yesterday, and we did this example here. Now, for example, 25 hundredths is a terminating decimal because its fraction equivalent of 1/4 terminates when the 1 is divided by the 4. And so that's what we get. Equivalent here, 1/4 is equal to 0.25. So 1/4 is equal to 25 hundredths. A repeating decimal is a decimal that never terminates when the numerator is divided by the denominator. For example, 0.3 repeating is a repeating decimal because its fraction equivalent, 1/3, has a remainder of 1 when the 1 is divided by the 3, no matter how many zeros are annexed to the numerator. So here's the example here. So we have 1 divided by 3. So 3 goes into 1 0 times. So we have to annex our decimal, okay? And then we put a 0. And so we need 3 goes into 10, and we go 3 times. Get 9, get 1 left over, annex another 0, you get 3 again because you get 9, and we subtract, you get 1, and you're going to get 3 again, right? So it's going to keep going. So we can represent this as 0.3 dot dot dot, okay, these ellipses, or we can do 0.3 with the line over it, and that means the digits with the line over it is equal to a repeating decimal, 0.333333333. Okay, so if we were to do this one, 0.25, it would be 0.25 with the line over just the 25. We don't have to have a line over all these because we know the 25 is just going to be repeating. So 3 dots following a decimal is one way to indicate a repeating decimal. A line over the digits that repeat is another way to show that the decimal repeats rather than terminates. For example, the decimal equivalent of 5/6 is the repeating decimal of 0.833 repeating. Okay, notice the line is drawn over the 3 only because only the 3 repeats. And so here's that example. So we divide 6 into 5. We're going to annex our decimal in a 0, put our decimal in the quotient, and then 6 is going into 50 8 times. You're going to get 48. You get 2 left over when you subtract. You annex another 0, and 6 goes into 20 3 times. You're going to get 18. When you subtract 18 from 20, you're going to get 2 again. Okay, and it's going to subtract and get 3. You're going to get another 18, and it's going to be subtract again, you get 2 each time. So it's going to be 5/6 is equal to 0.83 and the 3 repeats. Okay? So learn these fraction decimal equivalents right here. So these are the ones you're going to be worrying about or wanting to know offhand. So 1/3 equals 0.3 repeating. 2/3 equals 0.6 repeating. 1/6 equals 0.16 in the 6 repeats. And 5/6 is 0.83 in the 3 repeats. Okay? Now let's look at an example. So let's say we have 11/3, which is 3 into 11 here. We're going to annex a decimal and a 0. 11 is going into 30 2 times. And we're going to get 22. 22, we get 8. Okay, when we subtract, we're going to annex another 0, bring it down. And 11 goes into 80 7 times. 7 times 11 is 77. And guess what we're going to get? A 3, what we started out with. Okay, so we got the same exact number that we started out with here. And let's go ahead and look at another one. Annex another 0, bring down. 11 goes into 30, 2 times again. We get 22. And then we subtract, we're going to get 8. We're going to annex another 0, bring it down. And 11 goes into 8 or 80, 7 times again. And we're going to get 77. Subtract, we're going to get 3. And just keep repeating, right? So these same digits keep repeating. So we know these digits are going to repeat. So we're going to look at our 0.27. So this is approximately 0.27 and the 27 repeats, all right? So 27 hundredths repeating. And we can also write it as 0.27 period, period, period. Or these are ellipses here. So 0.27 repeating, and the line means these two digits are repeating digits. So I just want to make sure that you understand that. You're going to look at section 1, and you're going to have 1/9, okay? And 1/9, we're going to have 9 divided into 1, and there's a pattern here, okay? So if you annex the decimal on the 1 and the 0, 9 goes into 10 one time, right? So you have 0.1, and then you're going to get 10 minus 9 is 1 again. So you're going to have 0.1 repeating here, okay, on A. And look at the pattern. There's a pattern when you do 9s. So try to figure out that pattern. On section 2, you're going to mark under the incorrect fraction and decimal pairs. So you're going to try to find out, okay, are these correct or not? So incorrect ones, you're going to mark under them, they'll circle. Then you're going to round off to the nearest tenth. So yesterday we looked at, or 2 days ago, we looked at rounding off mixed numbers, and I just want to review that again. So if it's less than a half, you drop the fraction. If it's half or greater, you add 1 onto the whole number, such as this we had yesterday, right? 3 and 1/3. 1/3 is less than half, so it equals 3. 3 and 1/2, half is half or greater, we need to add 1. And so we're going to drop the fraction and add 1 onto our 3, and therefore we get 4. Same with 5 and 2/5. Okay, so 2/5 is less than half because 2 is less than 5. 2 is less than half of 5. So we're going to drop this, and we just have 5. On 6 and 3/5, 3 is greater than a half of 5. So we're going to drop it and add 1 onto our 6, and we get 7. Right? And then to change a common fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator, annex necessary zeros to the numerators. And here's 3/4 is going to be 0.75, 3/8, 0.375. And there's some ones that you need to remember. So you need to round off those decimals on section 3. Section 4, round to the nearest hundredths, and then thousandths on section 5. On 6, round to the nearest whole number. So you need to look at the tenths place, and that is going to determine the ones place. And then section 7 through 10, you're going to just review filling in the blank, finding the perimeter and the area of the shapes, both the perimeter and the area of A, B, okay? You don't have to do C. On section 9, you're going to divide A and B and C. And section 10, do A through G. So you don't have to do the green letters, only the black letters. After you finish your lesson, carefully tear it out, send me a photo, and then place it in your folder. All right, 6th grade. Looking at lesson 159, finding simple interest. Complete pages 287 to 288, doing exercises 1 through 7, and only the black letters. And show all your work here, okay, on these ones that we're doing. So today we're looking at finding simple interest. So if you have your book open to page 287, you'll see this box here. And so there's a formula. Simple interest is found using the following formula. I, okay, that means interest, is equal to P times R times T. So I is equal to interest, and interest is a fee charged for the use of money. So when you go and try to start a business, or you get a loan for a car because you don't have enough money to pay outright, so you would have to have an interest rate on that loan. So the banks, that's how banks make their money, on interest. So that's how car dealerships make their money. Or when you buy a house, so there's this interest that everybody pays on that house in order to purchase it. So you're borrowing money and they charge you interest. So it's a fee charged. And then the principal is the money borrowed or loaned. So if I bought a car for $20,000 and that car loan was $20,000, that's the principal, and then however much interest is added on to the principal. And the rate of interest is R. It's a percent of the principal that is being charged on a loan or paid to a depositor. And then time, T is for time. It's a period of loan in years. So a car loan might be 5 or 6 years. So see here an example. Sam Autry borrowed $2,000 for 1 year at an interest rate of 12%. At the end of the year, how much will Mr. Autry have to pay or repay? So here we have the interest equals PRT, so P times R times T, and we're going to put interest equals to $2,000 times the rate of interest, okay, which is 12%. We're going to change that to a decimal. We're going to get rid of the percent and move our decimal twice. So we annex a decimal, move it twice. And that's how we got 0.12. And then multiply it by 1 year. So really we can just get rid of this 1 because anything times 1 equals the number, right? So we have to multiply 2,000 times 0.12, and we're going to get 240. And so $240 of interest, and then you have to add that interest onto the principal, which was the $2,000, and that'll be $2,240 is actually what it cost for Mr. Autry to pay back that loan. So some simple interest example here for me that I came up with. So I equals PR equals P times R times T. And so I have a principal of $2,000 that I'm going to borrow, and my rate of interest is 7 3/4%, right? And then I have it for half a year. So I'm borrowing $2,000 at 7 3/4% interest for half a year. So this is what my formula would look like. So I have my 2,000 times, and I change my fraction into a decimal. So I'm going to have 0.0775 times 0.5. Okay? So 0.5 times a number is really easy to find because it's half, right? So what number can we take half of that's really easy? Well, I can take half of 2,000, which is 1,000. So that's what I did. So I took 1,000, right? So I took half of my 2,000 to get 1,000. I multiplied the 0.5 times 2,000 because I don't really need to do this yet because we're having both. For PEMDAS, we can multiply either one of these, doesn't matter. So I took the easy route and I took half of 2,000, which is 1,000, and now I'm going to multiply by 0.007. And all I have to do, since I'm multiplying by 1,000, which is a power of 10, we're going to move the decimal 3 times, and we're going to get $77.50. So that's the interest I would pay over 6 months for half a year on $2,000. Now I'm not done yet because I have the interest, but I need to add it back onto my principal. So total repaid is $2,000 plus $77.50. So I need to add that together, and I would get $2,077.50. That's how much I actually cost me, okay, to take that $2,000 loan. For section 2A, you're going to see this. So we need to put our formula, I equals PRT, and then you'll see that the principal is $5,000, The rate of interest is 18%, and the time is 1 year. So I have my formula again, and I'm going to put all my numbers into my formula, substitute. So I have the principal is 5,000, my rate is 0.18, or 0.18, sorry. And so that's the rate. I change my 18% into a decimal. And then my time is 1 year, and really this 1 is going to be useless on this. If it was 2 or half, or it really matters, but 1 times a number is the number. So really 1 year is kind of like up in there. So if I multiply 1 times 5,000, it's going to be 5,000, right? So let's go ahead and multiply 0.18 times 5,000, and you're going to get 900. We're multiplied by 1, and we're going to get 900, right? So interest you're going to pay on a year is $900 on 5,000. And so we need to add 5,000 plus 900, and we're going to get total repaid is $5,900. Yesterday, just want to put this up here again. Checking account, easily local bank, way to handle money in a responsible manner. Checks are, if you write a check, you're going to be subtracting. If you're depositing a check, you'll be adding. So really, writing a check, subtracting, depositing, adding. And the balance is how much is in your account. Check register is telling you what's going in, what's going out. And you want to avoid those overdraft charges because they're going to charge you a fee. And we went through this yesterday. And so we had wrote a check as minus, and then we have deposited is addition. Okay? Just wanted to go through that real quick, just to review. So complete all the black letters, exercises 1 through 7 on these 2 pages for lesson 159. Be sure to tear out lesson 159 carefully, send me a photo, and then afterward place it in your folder. Keyword for the day is Lewis, the yard teacher. All right, language arts. Getting into language arts, we had our 3, 2, 1. And so we had the reading passage here about geocaching, and you were to fill out 3 details. So some details would be outdoor treasure hunting activity, and searchers use a GPS or their cell phone's navigation app to find the cache. And then also the activity is a fun way to explore new places. So geocaching is an outdoor treasure hunting game that uses technology. So there's going to be some answers that are going to vary on this, about your favorite place to visit. I'm looking forward to reading these. And then you should have fixed this sentence, which is the drama club performed The Sound of Music last Friday night at Springville High School. So you should have capitalized things here and also fix the tense on perform. For the next page, on page 6, so you're going to be reading these, drawing an inference. So let's talk about summer. Okay, this one's talking about eyeglasses. And then here is fireworks. Again, these are going to vary here. I can't wait to read these. I'm looking forward to that. And then fixing the sentence, should have capitalized Mrs. Lee with a period there. And then she saw 3 calves. You should have spelled out calves and respelled calves here. Okay, 3 calves. And the main street should be capitalized with a period. For page 7 on your language arts for today, for 3, 2, 1, you're going to read the passage, then underline 3 sentences that help demonstrate the story's theme, that you can help yourself by helping others. So this is the theme, help yourself by helping others. So you need to find 3 sentences in the reading that support this statement, that help yourself by helping others. Now for writing, a haiku is a poem with 3 lines. Each line has a specific number of syllables. So write 2 haiku. So you're going to have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. And we've done this before. So here, the wind whispers words. The wind whispers words, okay? So it's 5 syllables. Of comfort, it's 3, and peace as that's 7, okay? Trees dance in the night. So it has one theme, but there's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Not 5 words, 7 words, 5 words, syllables, okay? Those are the sounds that we say, okay? The wind whispers, words. So you're gonna write 2 haikus there of anything you want. And then on grammar, correct the sentence here. On page 8, you're gonna read the passage, then answer the 3 questions about your reading. Okay, so who is Derek Redmond? What happened to Derek Redmond in 1992, and why is this story inspirational? On writing, write a strained conversation between 2 people having an argument. So that's okay, the conversation bubbles. So you have 5 different dialogues. And then the sentence below is filled with errors. Rewrite the 1 sentence with corrections. Okay, so you're going to write it here in the space. For today's reading literature, read recipe for allergies again, then answer Thursday section incomplete sentences using text evidence. And tomorrow will be your final quiz for reading literature. And then vocabulary, you're going to be doing Unit 12C, choose 2. So what you should have done yesterday. And so let's go ahead and look at these. I'm going to go ahead and go through these answers rather quickly. So parade should be march and procession. Then irreparable is destroyed, irreversible. Subordinate, below and under. And it didn't work. And then ordinance is law and rule. Coordinate is organized and match. And inordinate is excessive, unreasonable. Expose, display, uncover. Why? And then juxtapose, compare, and oppose. And then posture is position, stance. Repository, as we can see, warehouse, and archive. Now for your analogies, you should have had B, merchant and sells, goes with repository and stores. 2, subordinate is to superior as governor is to president. Demolished is to irreparable as trendy is to popular. Parade is to long as intermission is to brief. Ordinance is to regulate as siren is to alert. Expose is to shield as admit is to deny. Juxtapose is to differences as compare is to similarities. Inordinate is to reasonable as unique is to common. Posture is to stance as response is to reaction. And number 10, coordinate is to synchronize as rebuff is to reject. All right, so hopefully you did well on those. Go ahead and do E and F today, making sure that you use more than just the 10 words given. You will not get full credit if you only have 10 words here. So just letting you know that right off the bat here, right? And then 12F, apply what you know. Make sure you complete the 5, answer the 5 questions below. For health, enjoying good health, you're going to read pages 52 through 56 and read and answer the quick checkups orally on page 53 and 56. So let's go ahead and look at what you had yesterday on page 44. You should have filled out this, and you should have esophagus is here. All right, I meant esophagus, epilogus, and then the esophagus, sorry. And then you have the liver right here, the largest internal organ. And then you're going to have the gallbladder. Okay, so that little thing right there. And then you're going to have your stomach, which is this. Then you're going to have your pancreas, which is behind your stomach here. And then you have your colon right here, which is your large intestine. And then you have your small intestine. Right, and then I know I can't read this section here because my face is covering it up. But that says here, write the parts of the alimentary canal in the order that the food passes through it. Okay, so you're going to have your esophagus, or your mouth, your esophagus, then your stomach, your small intestine, and then your colon. All right, for the quick checkup, who am I? So on page 53, you'll see this, who am I? And it says digested food must enter me before it can nourish your body, and that is your bloodstream. We are tiny finger-like projections in the small intestine of the villi, and I am a wide tube of muscles connected to your small intestine, that is your colon, and I help clean your intestinal walls, and that is fiber. So you want to eat a lot of fiber to help clean your stomach out, or your intestines out. And there's some healthful hints here. So you have drink at least 6 large glasses of liquids every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, this guy's got to wash a lot of dishes, doesn't he? And then also drinking sufficient liquids helps your body in many ways, and here are the many ways in which it can help. It helps control your body temperature, very important, especially on a summer day. It carries nutrients to your body. It helps the digestion of your food. It helps change food into energy. We all need more energy. And it is needed to produce blood, saliva, and digestive juices. And it carries waste away from your body. So what I want you to do right now is maybe do some jumping jacks or run around your house or get some energy out. Raise your heart rate. And then I want you to test your heart rate like we had done last year. And you kind of want to have your heart check. Okay, so count the beats for 15 seconds and then multiply that by 4. Or for 10 seconds and multiply by 6. And I'll tell you your heart rate per minute. Okay, and then your target height rate probably should be around 120. All right, for true and false on page 56. So you should say only 1/3 of your body is made up of water, and that is false. Okay, it's around 70-75% here. And then you need liquids only at meal times. That is false again. So liquid throughout the day, right? Persons with a fever, vomiting, or diarrhea need more liquids than usual. Yes, because they are losing a lot of liquid, so they're going to get dehydrated quickly. Dysentery is an infection of the colon. Yes, it is. That's true. And then don't want to have dysentery. Many people have died in the past from that. And then alcohol affects a person's brain. That again is true. And then for social studies, again, continue to polish your, organize your notebook. Make sure you go over that. Very important. This would basically be a couple test grades here. So you want to make sure you do that and just complete that whole thing. And I know next week you have 2 pages that I will be getting to you. Again, apologize for that. And so make sure it's organized neatly in your binder and everything's been completed. Names on it, decorate the cover. Say My State Notebook by Haley Moore or Hayden Moore or Cameron Gooden. Okay? Don't forget the rubric for this quarter as well. Daily communication, 15%. Daily assignments, 25%. Quizzes, 40%. Tests, 20%. And that'll conclude our May 21st lesson overview for the day. And I hope that you have a great rest of the day. And we will see you tomorrow in the next lesson.